Alright everyone, so this is VOD review for Roadrunners JV. This is from the tournament on 9 I believe, right? Saturday? Yeah, 9 round 2. And this is on Dumani. Okay, so they ran a dive, right? So you guys asked me, this is actually a pretty easy dive to counter. Unfortunately, we just hadn't gone over Nobani. We also didn't have Bosif here, so we're kind of limited on the hero pool that we have. Again, I base a lot of our team comes here based on the hero pool that we all stated, right? So if your hero pool is not just 2 heroes, I suggest you let me know. Because it's really hard for me to just put you on another hero if I have no idea whether you can play him or not. Even if it is the viable counter, usually the rule of thumb is you play the best hero that you're comfortable with, right? Because you'll probably excel at that rather than just playing a hero you have no experience on. Alright, so let's first start off with their team composition, right? You won't know that they have dive until pretty much they get to the point. But the ball here isn't going to be meant for kills. Ball's going to be used to displace. Ball is usually going to come in first, get some displacements down on the defensive side. And then, hopefully by then, the Genji's going to collapse. You got the rock, you got the soldier, who's going to be peppering down with Illari. So because of Illari's damage in this close space, you essentially have 2 hit scans, right? Illari and soldier. If you really want to look at it that way, you have Genji with a dive and you have Kiriko for heals. The pylon's essentially going to serve as the bunker for them. So as long as the Kiriko and the soldier play near the pylon, they're going to be fairly safe. Same with the Illari. As you can tell, both the Illari and the soldier, like this Illari has no fear, right? About the fact that they can either A, get healed, or E, B, move out of the way, or C, just peel back to where their pylon is, right? We have to identify that they're pretty much playing a double hit scan here with a Genji dive, right? So the only change here, I think our team comp is fine. The only thing that I would change is we wouldn't run the Ashe here because of the limited mobility. We'd probably run something like the Sojourn like we ran earlier. And it doesn't change anything that we do, right? Like whether that pylon's there or not, with your beam, whoever's playing Echo, the idea is the pylon cannot heal through the beam if you're lower than 50% health. So that's essentially one way is the beam, right? So Cap, all I want you to do in this situation, right? All you're gonna do is you're gonna jump up, you're gonna scout. In the meantime, whoever your other healer is, right? You're just gonna be healing Cap in case he needs a little heal. Cap, all you're gonna do is you're gonna identify where their team is, right? So if you come up here, you'll see that there's 2 here. I don't see anybody else. You see the Genji. You don't identify the tank, right? So at that point, I want you to make a call and say, hey, I don't see the tank. Down here, I don't really know what's going on back here. I don't know if anyone notices. I don't know if this Kiriko's just been flanking here the whole time. If they have been flanking there the whole time, all we want to do is pressure the Kiriko so that they use cleanse and TP and not engage. So wait to pressure the TP and the cleanse if the Kiriko is going to go on a flank like this and act stupid, because that's really what they're doing. They're acting stupid. Right? Bait out both of them. Once those have been baited, I want the team to then communicate to Cap that there's no TP and no cleanse. Alright, so that means Cap and then Echo, whoever's playing Echo, have the ability to collapse on anyone on their team without a fear of a cleanser or TP. That includes the Genji, that includes the soldier, that includes the Illari. So that's essentially what I want us to do. So see what I mean here though? Like we jump up early, we don't really know where they're staging, we're using bubble early. You want to scout. Right, that's the whole point of the Winston on Nubani. Nubani is there to scout. If you're gonna jump in like this though, you're better off playing D.Va, right? Like if that's your engagement on this point, is D.Va. Because the damage, look at your bubble. You just jumped in and your bubble's pretty much already gonna get cracked. And then you have no cooldowns. You can only drop down and then we have to wait another 10 seconds. You might as well just play D.Va, go in there with Defense Matrix and just poke right back down. Take limited damage just to scout. We still prefer the Monkey pick here. I always have preferred Monkey over the D.Va here. I think it just gets more value with zoning. So, regardless of that case, right, it just forces you back down. That's a good pick. Okay, I don't know, Kachu. I don't know what's going on here. Why are you next to your Ashe like this? Right, like you need to, yeah, this is just, you can't do this. Like if your Ashe is up there or your Echo's up there, you can't just be next to them. You're too easy to be exposed. If anything, when we swap to the Sojourn mobility will save you from this dive, and then you should just be pocketing the Echo. Right? Because we let our Echo die, and then you die. So there's no benefit to that. See, Cap is able to get 1, so now it's a 2 for 1. So Rocky got 1, Cap got 1, but everybody else is dead. Achilles, I think you dove in there for a cleanse and heal. You and Cap have to coordinate that because Cap still had armor, right? So it's up to Cap to get out of there. Especially with the ball, he should be able to survive that. There's not a lot of huge amount of damage that they can come out to collapse on him for. He should be in and out every time. If you are going to coordinate that TP dive, that's what I call it. TP dive, let's say you see an Ana out of position, let's say you see a Mercy out of position, then Cap can call, hey, TP with me, we'll get this squishy, and we'll TP in after I jump in, and we'll get her together, and then we'll sustain for a little bit with my bubble, and then we'll get back out. But that has to be made a call during the comms. Yeah, Cap just gets deleted there. He doesn't have any more backup. Achilles is dead to the ball. Let's see here. So one thing I want us to understand too against ball is ball should be ignored with the type of support lineup that we have, and if we change the Ashe for a Sojourn, right? And what I mean by that is ball should not be theoretically able to single off my Kiriko because we have cleanse and TP and we have a Mercy. So if my Kiriko TPs to, let's say, my Winston, who's a little bit farther away, and the ball needs to then re-roll all the way around, right? We still have our Mercy, who should be able to just heal my Kiriko there for 1 second while they TP out to it, right? And then we're good to go. We just ignore the ball. Ball can be the last person we killed, unless we have, you know, we're running like an Ana, and we sleep it, and then we hack it, and then, you know, we nade it, and then we beam it, right? That's the only other option we're going to be killing ball early. Other than that, just wait for them to be the last ones to be killed, especially a ball at that level. Okay, so the Kiriko is doing this stupid frontline Kiriko nonsense. This needs to get exposed, right? Like, you guys should all be aware of this. All you need to do is, I don't want you to use your stickies, or I just want you to bait her cooldowns. Once her cooldowns have been used up, we want to then engage. Do that every time. Flanking Kirikos are cool and all, and they seem like it's a great idea, but like once you get past them and they've used all their cooldowns, they're essentially useless. Another good dive by Cap. A good peel at the end there by Kilius, right? Why is my Mercy not... See, this is what I mean, though. This can't happen. This can't happen. Like, just move away, or the team needs to make the call to come back and collapse on her to bait the cooldown so then we can all engage. Right? It's one or the other. We all have headsets. You should be able to hear a Kiriko who's kunaiing us from the back. We'll lose tornadoes to that. Cap is by himself, other than with Achilles. Our team isn't able to push in. Okay, guys, why are we doing this? You do that, and then you leave your Echo by yourself. So you just wasted time to get a res off just for this person to die. You're better off healing this person for them to get a pick, right? And then again, if this person here dies, then you can res them again, and then you're still got another pick out of it. All you did here was trade for picks. I'm telling every Mercy player on the team, you guys gotta understand when your reses are valuable. Just because a res is there does not mean it's a valuable res, right? It's almost like a shatter, right? You can shatter an Ana, you can shatter 4 people, right? But if the Ana has a nano, guess what? I'm shattering the Ana so I can kill her so that she doesn't have nano for the next team fight. It's about the value within the team fight, and this doesn't help us right here. This does not help us because Rocket's dead here to a ball. He should never be dying to a ball if he has a Mercy pocket, right? And then the Lari would die if Rocket had a pocket. The Lari right here, look at this. She's exposed. We have Achilles here too. The Genji would die. Everyone else would die. This is just bad coordination. And then do you see what I mean though? And then we lose you two again. Like, that's just, you guys are just on an island, right? We'll swap over the Sojourn, so I won't run Ashe on the offensive side. You can run Ashe on the defensive side, but on the offensive side is no good. I'm assuming this is a full hold. No way that kitty can go on. Go watch this again. Kachu dies. Big full rush. Okay, so we swapped over to the Sojourn. Yeah, but we can't have a Sojourn, and yeah, so no, that's not gonna happen. We're not running a Pharah, and then we're not switching the Sojourn. We need the Echo there for the beam, right? And then we need the Sojourn for the mobility. You can't make these swaps. You guys, what you swap to here makes you even more counterable than anything before, which is fine. We had him playing on Numbani. I know that we would struggle against that. We were just missing a player. When I was making these teams, there's a reason why I was looking for 1 flex DPS, 1 hit scan DPS, and then 1 specialist. And that's really what it comes down to. Like, if you're a specialist, you're a specialist. That's fine. You'll be used on certain maps. That's the truth about it, right? But I need flex DPSs for these types of engagements where you have to go up and make different comps for different parts of the map. Yeah, so I'm assuming this is just gonna be full hold here. Yeah, there's no engagements here. Yeah, they're full on that. That was just bad coordination, bad team engagements, bad synergy. It's a tough map, right? But you always have to understand that for anyone who ever played Overwatch 1 in high elo games, the way this was played is you ran either a full dive, a full brawl, right, with spam, here with shields, double shields nonsense, or you ran what's called the half dive. Right, half dive meant your dive players were on the ground, your brawl players on the top. When you got to this little corner here, your dive players were engaged here, your brawl heroes or your hit scan players would engage from the side, and you collapse all together here. You would use a bubble in a Zarya or something like that. You bubble the Winston in here so that way he can't get slap naded, whatever the case is, getting high energy charge out of it. Then Winston uses bubble, that means they can't heal each other, and then meanwhile these guys are essentially peppering them from the side. Obviously we lost a tank in Overwatch 2, but the thought process remains the same, is we scout until we find a weakness within their comp, right? If they had ran a Bastion comp out of this, right, then we would essentially swap to poke, right? If they ran a Bastion comp, we would swap to poke or brawl, right? So we would come here, rotate as a team all the way around, and engage them and take them off from the high ground. I'm telling you all this now just in case you run into a team that runs the Bastion, right? Essentially what we're going to do is we can go lower. If we know they have a Bastion, we rotate. It's going to be a 30-second rotation. Everyone be patient. Once the fight happens, you can start poking here. Some players, if they're long range, like a Sojourn, you can stay here with a Mercy Pocket. We would have like a Zarya and a Bastion on our end as well. And we would engage here while you're peppering from that angle. Right? You'll have the safety of cover, hopefully, and they're not going to be able to collapse. If they collapse on you, you come back in here for the health pack. You know, there's multiple avenues for you to get away. And you create a double ping, double prong engagement that way. That's the best way to say it. That's something against a Bastion, right? Obviously, they're not running Bastion. So all that this is my Winston scouts. Hey, Rocket. Hey, Bosif. I see, a soldier without a Mercy Pocket. I see an Illari without a Pylon. Call one of them. We're engaging together. All right, Achilles, and we need cleanse, okay? Because whatever the situation, we might need cleanse. All right, Achilles, okay, cool. We all held our coolants. Let's go. Boom, engage. All you have to do is pick one person at a time. Once you pick that person, you go on to the next person. But we can't have this, and the reason why it's Ashe on that play is just a little bit tough, is it takes too long for Ashe to position high ground, and it's too slow for her to move out of the dives. So once the ball knows that you don't have your coach gun, they can easily just come after you and pepper you down. And unless Kachu's playing perfect positioning with their super jumps up into the sky, right, evading the ball pod drivers, right, they're gonna be taking damage, and then they're gonna die, and then you're gonna die, which doesn't help us. With a Sojourn, every time you slide away, the Mercy can just follow you during the slide. So it's just a thought process. That's why we ran what we ran yesterday during the scrims. I think it was a much better engagement. I think you guys saw how it's technically supposed to work. But just remember, teams are going to adjust to that. So if they let it happen once, they're probably going to swap to a Bastion for the next engagement. And that's when we make our swaps too. So on the defensive side, Cap, when you play Winston here, it's going to be the same thing. You don't want to use your jump to engage unless you really have to. You essentially want to wait for them to push a little bit, close off their back line, and then be able to jump out and bubble out after the fact. Right? We want your jump to be on cooldown on the defensive side. Right? Because that's the only way for you to get any mobility out. Okay, so we have a Sojourn. We have a Junk there. Okay, I don't know what just happened there. What just happened? I'm gonna have to get like a full aerial view. Oh, that's why. I didn't see that. Okay. So you died to the junk. Kiriko gets rocket. Oh, that's just rough. That's just unlucky. The junk play shouldn't have happened, but it happened. And it's gonna begin. Okay. Alright, unfortunately that's the way that game ended, right? But on the defensive side, I would honestly prefer my Sojourner to be here. Right? And then we can have something else here, whether that's a, you know, echo, anything else, right? I need mobility. When you're gonna be on the side where the push is, and this is the best way to think about it. If you know push is coming your way, you can't be the slower target, the slower hero pool there. It makes no sense. If you know, imagine they were in a Lucio here and I had something like a Hog and I don't know, like the Soldier, and they just had a Lucio, Bastion, Zarya. You think a Hog is gonna survive here? Right? It just doesn't make sense for the Hog to be positioned there. They're just gonna get picked. It's probably easier for the Hog to position here, position even on the sides, whatever the case is. That's what you have to understand about these team comps, right? So if you're the DPS, understand, am I the one with mobility or no mobility? If I have no mobility, why the heck am I in the front line? Right? And then you might not think this is the front line. You kind of did get exposed a little bit here. The Soldier does have some mobility, right? Which is fine, but one, we probably should have heard the junk if we didn't hear him because it was crouching. That's also fine. But I don't want my Soldier here. I'd rather have my Soldier on this side and my Soldier in the Mercy here. Okay? That way Kiriko can heal the Soldier, right? And then also heal the Mercy and also heal a little bit of the Winston. And you guys are kind of like a group here where it's 3 versus probably 3. And this is probably going to be a 2-on-1 or a 2-on-2. Right? So, unfortunately, that happened. Just lessons to learn for the next time on this one. Alright, so that concludes VOD review for this VOD. Unfortunately, it was a short VOD. Hopefully, it was informative to the rest of the team. I think we worked a little bit of this during the scrims. You can kind of see how the dive just kind of plays out. We're running dive. If they're going to run dive, that's fine. You want to run the counter to the dives by using mobility to go after their backline. You don't want to stay there and fight within a bubble. You want to get away from the bubble. You want to get away from the ball and then go after their squishies. Right? Because if they're using cooldowns to get to you and then you use cooldowns to get to them, but you're on the advantage because now you're attacking them on their back end and they had already used the cooldowns to get to you. You should have the advantage there as a team to be able to clean up. Okay? Coordination and synergy is important as always, but I think we'll get the hang of it as this continues. Alright? So that's the end of this VOD review, and I'll be uploading it shortly.